Am I the a-hole for not inviting my half-sister to my daughter's birthday party? Okay, so this situation is pretty messed up. When I was 22, my ex-husband filed for divorce from me because he was having an affair with my mother and had gotten her pregnant. At the time, I was also pregnant and we had a 3-year-old. My ex-husband said that because my mother was older than me, she was 36 or 37 at the time, she needed his support more than I did. 2 years later, I went no contact with both of them. Fast forward to 2 weeks ago. My daughter is now in the 4th grade and she asked if she could have a sleepover party for her birthday/back-to-school party. I told her, of course, and that we could send invites to her class using the class roster contact sheet. The teacher had emailed the parents. When I was going through the list, I unfortunately noticed that my mother and ex-husband are listed as parents of a little girl in my daughter's class. Now, about half of the parents opted out of having their contact information on the sheet, including my mother and my ex. So we invited the 6 girls from my daughter's class, whose parents had shared their email to the party. My mother found out about the party and has been livid ever since, trying so many toxic ways to contact me and get her daughter invited to the party. I don't want her daughter at the party, mostly because the whole situation is very painful to me and brings up bad emotions, and I don't want to have a relationship with the kid. So at pickup yesterday, my mom made a scene in front of the other parents and called me an asshole for excluding her daughter, who is very sad about not being invited. Am I the a-hole for being firm on not inviting her daughter? I feel bad about it, but my daughter doesn't get along with her to begin with.
Am I the a-hole? My mother-in-law is terminally ill, but I want to divorce. I, 28 female, have been married for 1 year. My husband, 29 male, promised we would move out after marriage. However, a few weeks before the wedding, he said he felt guilty leaving his ill mom, who has had stage 3 cancer for the last 2 years. So we stayed. Living with in-laws was hell. Mother-in-law, brother-in-law, father-in-law, they would all walk into my room without even knocking at any time, both during the day and night. My mother-in-law would go through my things, including personal items such as bank statements, diaries, etc. Despite me telling her not to, she would make the excuse of, "You are messy, I was doing you a favor by sorting your things." My mother-in-law in particular had an issue whenever hubby and I spent time together outside the house, as she thought her son was putting his wife before his dying mom. I was called selfish for forcing her son to spend time away from her. It got so bad that I had to beg my hubby to spend time together. One time we lied to his parents and said I had to post some letters so we could go out for breakfast. On our return to the house, hubby ate a full breakfast again, so they wouldn't suspect we had a date. Hubby never really stood up to his family or defended me, and eventually it all got too much. I applied for a job in my home city about 3 hours away, as I wanted to escape the current life I had. I eventually told hubby and he went ballistic, said I was evil and selfish, and women are meant to follow men's careers, not the other way around. Bear in mind, this new job proposed should start after my hubby's job contract ended, so he would be free to move. Anyways, we did move cities for my job, but hubby has been awful to me since the move. Mother-in-law now says she's terminal. He blames me for him being apart from his dying mom, who somehow has enough energy to call my grandparents and complain about me despite me cutting contact with her. I admit I perhaps shouldn't have forced him to move so far away, but I did it because I was so alone during my time at my in-laws, and I wanted to be close to my family and friends as I didn't trust hubby to support me. Am I the a-hole? Is hubby enmeshed, or is he behaving in a normal way because his mom is ill? Should I proceed with the divorce?
Am I the a-hole for leaving when my mom forced me to meet my daughter? Hi guys, this is my first post, and English isn't my native language. So earlier this year, a girl I once hooked up with texted me and told me she has a 1-year-old daughter, and I might be the father. I didn't want to believe her, but we took a paternity test and it turned out I really am the father. She didn't tell me she was pregnant. She didn't tell me when my daughter was born. She only told me when my daughter was 1 year old. This and other circumstances led to me not wanting anything to do with her or my daughter. Of course I will pay child support, but she didn't give me any chance to bond with her. Well, my mother loves children and immediately got in contact with the mother and met the child. They've been very close and meeting regularly. I have no problem with that at all. I just don't want to meet her myself. Okay, so now to the story. My mom broke her foot and needs help at home, so I moved back in to support her. I helped her with her cats, with food and household stuff. A few days ago, I met with a friend and came home very late and slept until 1 p.m. when I was woken up by some voices coming out of my mom's bedroom. Mind you, she doesn't have a door, and I'm sleeping in the living room, also without a door. So I listened to the voices, and it really was the mother and my child. I didn't want to meet them, see them, hear them, or whatever. I was so mad that my mom would do this to me without waking me up so I can leave. I just got up and left the house. Later that day, I got an angry text from my mom and my grandma saying I'm a horrible son for just leaving. My grandma said some hurtful stuff about me being like my father. I'm so confused right now. Am I really the a-hole for just leaving because she invited 2 people I didn't want to see? Edit. Let me clear up a few things. Yes, we used protection. I'm not 100% sure about my choice. I just need more time. I get that my daughter is here now, but I need more time to prepare myself as I didn't get the 9 months like the mother of my child. My father was in my life but was a shitty dad, and that's why I don't want to rush a decision. I think it would be better for my daughter to not have me present instead of me not being good enough for her. I slept so long because I was talking to my friend for so long, not drinking or stuff like that. It was a Saturday. Abortion in my country is legal.